Okay, first things first, I'm sorry this is so late. I overslept. I mean, I watched the Rumble last night, came back in a little late, had to go to work early in the morning, so yeah, everything just kind of conspired against getting this out before the afternoon, unfortunately. So starting off with our kickoff show matches, we had a kind of bonus match they hadn't announced until the kickoff show proper when with the Raw Tag Team Champions of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable taking on the makeshift tag team of Scott Dawson from The Revival and Razar from the Authors of Pain. The one thing that was truly of note was that I guess one of the cameramen was so pumped that he accidentally tripped over a guardrail and fell flat on his butt as I believe it was Roode and Gable were making their entrance. So basically, the stipulation of this match was if the makeshift tag team wins, then their respective tag teams would get consideration for a future championship opportunity. And basically that's what they worked with, the idea that Akam and Dawson don't like each other. Not Akam, Razar, sorry, I tried to record this earlier, I keep saying Akam. It's Razar. Razar and Dawson don't like each other. They didn't really get along. They tried to get along just enough. I mean, they did get some decent licks in, had some opportunities, but ultimately Roode and Gable won with the Rude Awakening Neckbreaker Moonsault combination. Okay match. I mean, understand why on the kickoff show. Just and maybe next time you want to do something like that, maybe announce it a week beforehand. Let something build towards it rather than spur of the moment on the show. Okay, our next match is the United States Championship match, Rusev versus Nakamura Shinsuke. Not really too much to say here. I mean, it was a typical match, nothing really spectacular outside of Rusev trying to counter a Kinshasa with a Mashka kick and Nakamura managing to dodge at the last possible minute. Basically, the climax of the match came with Nakamura trying to remove the turnbuckle pad. At that point, Lana tried to insert herself to stop everything. Nakamura and Lana yelled at each other a bit. Then Rusev accidentally hit Lana when he was trying to get Nakamura. That distracted Rusev long enough for Nakamura to hit the Kinshasa for the 3 count on the victory. Nakamura is once more United States champion, and basically the only reason they did this was so that they could pay it off later in the show, and we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay, our final kickoff show match is the Fatal 4-Way for the Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto. And this was a really good match. It worked in the high spots really well. Probably the big high spot everyone's going to take away is Akira Tozawa did a suicide dive onto Kalisto, who was sitting on top of Buddy Murphy's shoulders. So when Tozawa hit Kalisto, it enabled Kalisto to do a head scissors on Murphy, sending him into the ring barricade. Yeah, other than that, there was a lot of spike Conradas from Kalisto. He used Itami to do a Selena Del Sol on the Murphy. Eventually Murphy won out after he hit several jumping knee strikes on everyone, including 2 on Itami. He then followed that up with the Murphy's Law on Itami for the 3 count and the victory. Not too terribly surprised. It seems that Murphy as champion is really working right now, so I don't see them really taking the belt off of him. I mean, we just had a long reign with Cedric Alexander. I think they're just going to, keep it on Murphy for a while until, well, I hesitate to say a more worthy competitor comes along, but yeah, maybe they're waiting for someone new. Okay, moving on to the show proper. Our first match is the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Asuka versus Becky Lynch. A lot of chain wrestling type things. Asuka was using her hip attack a lot. At one point she drove Becky into the turnbuckle with the hip attack. A lot of drop kicks, a lot of... at one point Lynch knocked Asuka off the ring apron and hit the Bexploder into the barricade. At one point both women tried to lock on basically tried to submit the opponent with the opponent's own submission hold. Asuka tried to disarm her. Becky tried the chicken wing or the Asuka lock. I guess the only other hugely noteworthy bit was Becky had a wardrobe malfunction during one point. It was so quick it was hard to even see anything, so don't get your hopes up, guys. Anyway, let's see. Lynch tried a missile drop kick and he had a Asuka tried a missile drop kick and Lynch dodged it and then hit a big pump handle slam. The other really big spot was Asuka hit kind of a fisherman's DDT off the ring apron. Both women landed really hard. In fact, both of them barely even beat the 10 count in the ring, so I'm surprised neither of them had a concussion after that. Becky Lynch hit a super Bexploder. She tried to do a guillotine that Asuka basically rolled out of the way just enough to lock on the Asuka lock after that, but Becky got to the ropes, and again, like we had constant fighting out for the submissions, and then Asuka managed to lock on the Asuka lock, and Becky reluctantly tapped out. This was a really good match, and right away an early contender for match of the night. If probably not even overall the match of the night, but there might be another one. It definitely sets things up for a later payoff, which we'll get to. Okay, our next match is the match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, The Bar versus The Miz and Shane McMahon. Right off the bat, Shane speared Sheamus right after the ring bell. At that point, The Miz tagged in, and he worked most of the match with The Bar just constantly double-teaming him. Shane got back in there, and he draped Cesaro on the announce table. Tried to do his big elbow. Again, Sheamus interfered with that, and that allowed Cesaro to hit a big running European uppercut, which knocked Shane out for a big portion of the match. Eventually, what happened towards the end is Shane dodged a bro kick and then landed several strikes. They had to set up for the bro kick, and Shane dodged it again, and Sheamus struck Cesaro. Shane then hit the shooting star press for the 3 count of the victory. So yeah, Shane and The Miz are now tag team champions on SmackDown. I do have to wonder where they're going to go with this. Are they going to forfeit? It still seems like they're trying to build towards Miz versus Shane at WrestleMania, and I don't know why. I really have no idea where they're going with this. Again, I think even now, still people would rather see at Mania face Miz versus heel Daniel Bryan now, because that would actually be interesting. But no, again, we're stuck with this thing. Okay, our next match is the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. Basically right off the bat, Sasha went after Ronda Rousey's arm, especially after she dodged a charge from Rousey, and Rousey hit the ring post on the outside of the ring. Banks fought out of a Piper's Pit and locked on an armbar. Banks hit a superplex and locked on an armbar, basically trying to again steal the opponent's finisher. My notes for this match are not particularly good. I had a guest. Yeah, he sat on my notes. So, anyway, trying to see. Okay, eventually Rousey came back with some offense of her own, but Banks seemed to have a counterpoint for all of this. And eventually she put on the tried to put on the bank statement, fought out of it. Rousey fought out of the bank statement, fought out another armbar attempt, and hit a gut wrench suplex, and then hit the Piper's Pit for the 3 count of the victory. So she couldn't even make Sasha tap out. And afterwards, Rousey shook Sasha's hand, said, "Look, you were worthy. I misjudged you. I didn't mean anything." But then Sasha flashed the 4 Horsewomen sign and left. So again, don't know exactly where they're going with this. They're not doing the 4 Horsewomen versus the 4 Horsewomen. I mean, Shafir and Duke are nowhere near ready for that type of match on that stage. So that's not going to happen. I know Sasha and Bayley are going to be probably competing for the new Women's Tag Team Championships, and Obviously, we'll get to the Rumble thing when the Rumble thing happens, which is, well, next. Okay, and so with that, we're now at the Women's Royal Rumble match. I'm not going to go through every entrance because it'll just take forever to get through, so let's just hit some of the high points. The first two out were Lacey Evans and Natalya. Mandy Rose came out after that. The first elimination was the fourth competitor, Liv Morgan, who was tossed out by Natalya right away. But then we didn't have an elimination for a while until right in between entrance 10 and 11. 10 was Tamina Snuka, and the 11th was Xia Li. Another high point of that first, 12, let's say, was Billie Kay coming out and saying she wasn't going to enter until Peyton Royce did, and then Peyton Royce came out almost two competitors later. As that was happening, Mickie James was eliminated by Tamina Snuka. Nikki Cross eliminated the Iconics. No, Nikki Cross was eliminated by the Iconics. My mistake. Sorry. After that, Lacey Evans eliminated the Iconics, and Charlotte, who was number 13, eliminated Xia Li. So Charlotte also eliminated Tamina Snuka, and let's see, Kairi Sane and Natalya eliminated Sarah Logan, who had also come out at that point. Naomi came out at 16th, and Naomi eliminated Mandy Rose. Almost got eliminated herself, leapt to the ring barricade, and then managed to leap to the ring steps. And as that happened, Mandy Rose came and shoved Naomi off the ring steps, causing her to be eliminated. Which is always that fuzzy thing, like, should someone who's eliminated from the Rumble be allowed to eliminate someone who's in the Rumble? And as that was happening, Lacey Evans was eliminated by Charlotte as well. Number 19, or 19th, Candice LeRae came out at 17th, by the way. Then the 19th entrant was Casey Catanzaro, who is a competitor on American Ninja Warrior and has been in the training center. She also did a wacky elimination thing where she landed, but she landed on her back, and her feet were not technically on the ground, had not yet touched the floor. So she used the LED board of the ring apron, and then to do a handstand, then used the handstand to basically put her feet around the ring post, and then enabled her to get back in the match. But she was eventually eliminated again by, I think it was Rhea Ripley. I may be wrong on that. I don't have that in here. Sorry. When Ruby Riott came out, she had the Riott Squad with her, and that they basically ganged up. They eliminated Alicia Fox and Candice LeRae and Kairi Sane. As this was also happening, Zelina Vega came out and tried to hide under the ring. That is until Hornswoggle also turned out to be under the ring, and he began chasing Zelina Vega. And you have to marvel at the fact that Zelina Vega is only slightly taller than Hornswoggle is. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Sonya Deville, Rhea Ripley from NXT UK was out at 24, like I said. I think she and Dana Brooke eliminated Catanzaro. Ripley also eliminated Brooke. Eventually she also eliminated Zelina Vega when Hornswoggle chased her into the ring. Alexa Bliss came out at 26. Bliss immediately eliminated Sonya Deville. Bayley came out at 27. Bayley eliminated Ruby Riott and Rhea Ripley. Let's see. Okay, and now this is where things really pick up in a unique way, which is Lana is supposed to be the 28th entrant, but she's still selling her ankle injury. She's struggling to get down to the ring. Though, as my father pointed out as he was watching the match, Lana switched her ankle injury. She went from having a right ankle sprain to a left ankle sprain. Yeah. Anyway, in that main frame, Nia Jax came in. Nia Jax eliminated Io Shirai and Natalya. Carmella was number 30. That came out with no problem. As that happened, and people began to get into the match again, and Bliss eliminated Ember Moon, and Bayley and Carmella then eliminated Alexa Bliss. Becky Lynch came out as they were checking on Lana, basically lobbied with Dave Finlay to be allowed into the match in Lana's place, and he said, well, eventually he said, okay, just get out there. And so, yeah, Becky Lynch replaced Lana. So I don't know if that makes her the 28th entrant or the 30th entrant, but she replaced Lana. And that began to where things really whittled down. Charlotte and Nia Jax eliminated Bayley. Lynch got knocked through the ropes and injured her knee in the process. Lynch got back in. Lynch and Charlotte then teamed up to eliminate Nia Jax, and that left the final four. Oh, the final four were Bayley, Charlotte, Becky, and Nia. Sorry. So yeah, Charlotte and Nia eliminated Bayley. Lynch got knocked through the ropes, and I think Bayley and Becky were fighting. I can't remember. Sorry. Now I'm getting really loopy. So let's get through this. Lynch and Charlotte teamed up to eliminate Nia Jax, but Nia was angry that she shoved Becky off the ring steps. Becky had gone through the ropes, though, so she was not eliminated, but Becky began selling a knee injury, so Charlotte began acting like she had won the Rumble. Becky kept trying to fight the doctors off to get in. Eventually she did, and Becky ducked to Charlotte a boot and went over the top. Charlotte went over the top rope in the process, and as a result, Becky Lynch has won the Women's Royal Rumble and is going to WrestleMania. She did not make an announcement, but of course, it all seems to be pointing to her facing Ronda Rousey. It also seems like they're probably building towards a triple threat, so I don't know how meaningful this victory is going to be. It seems like Charlotte's probably going to claim that because Becky was injured, she shouldn't have been allowed in, or because she replaced Lana, she shouldn't have been allowed in, but we'll see what happens with that. Okay, our next match is the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles versus the new Daniel Bryan. This match was pretty good, but unfortunately after the exhausting Women's Royal Rumble, not a good idea to have a match that revolved mainly around guys trying to put each other in a submission hold. It had a real slow pace to it. It was a real slow burn of a match. Bryan dodged the charging Styles, who hit his chest into the ring post. I mean, not the turnbuckle, the ring post. At that point, Bryan went after Styles' arm, trying to prevent him from putting on the calf crusher. Styles went after Bryan's leg, trying to keep him from putting into the label lock. And that basically how the rest of the match played out, with them constantly trying to put on their respective submission holds. At one point, Styles did try to do a Styles Clash from the second rope. Bryan countered a phenomenal forearm with a big kick. And the big, I guess, climax of the match was Eric Rowan came down the ramp, and as Styles looked like he had a possible, I think he had just hit the Styles Clash. And the ref got knocked out in the process. Rowan came in and choked slammed Styles, and that enabled Daniel Bryan to cover for the victory. With that, it seems like Daniel Bryan is reuniting the Wyatt family, I guess. I know Harper, I keep hearing intermittent reports. Some say Harper has been cleared to return, others say he hasn't. Luke Harper. So, don't know how that's going to play out. Don't know exactly. Bray Wyatt's also been cleared to come back for a while, but we don't know what's going on there. Is he going to still be the Eater of Worlds, or is he going to still be the reborn Bray Wyatt from Matt Hardy? Is he going to get involved in this somehow? Don't really know. And the next match is the WWE Universal Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Finn Balor. So, this match had a couple of decent spots in it. Right off the bat, Balor hit his corner drop kick a couple of times. They got outside the ring. Lesnar countered a sling blade into a suplex, and Balor, as I said, they got it on the outside of the ring, and Lesnar tried to wanted to F5 Balor under the announce table, but Balor drop kicked Lesnar and sent him basically stomach first into the corner of the announce table really hard. And that caused Lesnar to lose a lot of his strength, because every time he would do something, he would really pop up and get hurt. Lesnar countered a drop kick with a lariat. Balor countered an F5 into a basically a swinging DDT, not quite a tornado DDT. He then hit the coup de grace, but that was Lesnar snookering him into putting on the Kimura lock, and Balor tapped soon afterwards. So, yeah, and then after that, Lesnar beat up Balor. Whatever. You know, I thought we were supposed to be in this new and different era for WWE, you know. If you wanted to do something new and different, how about put the belt on Balor? Yeah, I know, I've said this before, I know I'm running into the damn ground, but I'm sick of Brock Lesnar. Okay? I'm tired of it. And with that, we're at the final match of the evening, the Men's Royal Rumble match. Again, we're not going to go through every entrant in this, or we'll be here forever, so... right off the bat, the first entrant was Elias. He was going to do a song, but then the second entrant came out. It was Jeff Jarrett, and they decided to work in a duet. But then immediately, Elias attacked Jarrett, hit him with the guitar, and tossed him out of the ring. So, not too much along the way. Johnny Gargano entered the match at number 6. Jinder Mahal entered at number 7. Gargano eliminated Jinder right off the bat. Kurt Angle had come out at number 4, and Nakamura eliminated him. Nakamura came out at number 3. Samoa Joe came out at number 8. He eliminated Big E. Kurt Hawkins came in and immediately crawled under the ring to hide. Seth Rollins came in at number 10, and Rollins eliminated Elias. 11 was Titus O'Neil, who was very, very slowly going down to the ring so that he didn't replicate the Greatest Royal Rumble, and it's then that he noticed Hawkins under the ring, so he crawled under the ring willingly to chase Hawkins, and that enabled Hawkins to actually eliminate Titus when they got into the ring, and then Joe immediately eliminated Hawkins. Kofi Kingston came in at 12, Mustafa Ali at 13, Ali eliminated Nakamura, Dean Ambrose came in at 14, Ambrose eliminated Gargano and tried to eliminate Kofi, and this is where you get Kofi's near miss again. He landed in such a manner so, again, one foot touched the floor, the other one was just on top of the ring apron, and he then rolled across the ring apron to get to the ring steps and maneuver himself into it. That was actually the first. He had a second one later. We'll get to that. Drew McIntyre was 16. Xavier Woods was 17. As Xavier was going down to the ring, Kofi was knocked off and started to do a kind of a sunset flip, but onto Xavier. But Xavier caught Kofi's legs, and again they maneuvered into a position where they could start to get out of the get back into the ring. But then McIntyre knocked both of them off. Pete Dunne was number 18. Andrade was 19. Aleister Black was 21. Baron Corbin was 23. Corbin eliminated both Aleister Black and Apollo Crews, who also entered the match at that point. Black eliminated Dean Ambrose, though, so at least he got that in. Drew McIntyre eliminated Pete Dunne. Rey Mysterio was 25, Bobby Lashley was 26, and Rollins was immediately eliminated by Lashley, who attacked Rollins afterwards. Did not eliminate him, though. Rollins went through the ropes. Rollins got slammed on the announce table and was selling an injury at that point. 27th entry was Braun Strowman. Strowman eliminated both Shelton Benjamin and Baron Corbin. Ziggler was 28th. Jeff Hardy was eliminated off screen. I don't know by who. Ziggler then eliminated Drew McIntyre. Randy Orton was 29th. Strowman ran into the ring post, was not eliminated. Got run into the ring post, and so he was selling an injury. At that point, R-Truth came out for number 30, but then he got jumped by Nia Jax. So Nia Jax apparently decided she wanted to be in the Men's Royal Rumble, so she got in and she eliminated Mustafa Ali. Orton and then all the guys basically teamed up to eliminate Nia Jax. Orton then eliminated Rey Mysterio. Andrade then eliminated Orton, and that left the final four of Ziggler, Rollins, Strowman, and Andrade. Strowman eliminated Andrade, Ziggler shortly thereafter, and that left down to Strowman and Rollins, who was just getting back into the ring at that point. They fought a bit. Basically, they did kind of the 2004 thing where Strowman was trying to drop Rollins over the rope. Rollins managed to counter into kind of a suplex. They began fighting on the ring apron. And the big spot of that came where Strowman got slipped up just enough, got 1 foot down on the ground, so with 1 foot on the apron and his head over the top rope, so that enabled Rollins to run into a curb stomp to fully eliminate Strowman and win the Royal Rumble match. So I just hope Rollins beats Lesnar for the championship at Mania. Again, I'm sick of Lesnar. So overall, I do tend to fall into the consensus this show is probably a little too long. If you're going to run an exhausting 60-minute, the 2 exhausting 60-minute matches, you maybe don't want to put in a match with a lot of rest holds in it like you had with Styles and Bryan. It just really diffused the energy. I mean, most of the matches on the show were pretty good. Again, like maybe you could have dropped, say, the tag match, moved the WWE Championship match to a little bit earlier, and then just had that would have probably helped just streamlining that show down a little bit. Maybe not even have 3 kickoff show matches. Like the tag match, the bonus match, really did not add anything at all. So that didn't really need to be there. We don't need a 2-hour kickoff show for the. I understand it's the Royal Rumble. I understand it's the first step on the road to WrestleMania, but yeah, it doesn't need a 2-hour kickoff show. It really doesn't. They really need to figure out how to make some of that work a little bit better. So yeah, overall, I'm going to give the show a B. Like I said, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. It was more than enjoyable, but again, it's really long. I almost would not recommend watching it all in one sitting. I mean, I would probably skip the kickoff show entirely and just, if you want to, just watch the Cruiserweight match on YouTube or something, see if it's on there. Okay, so the next wrestling pay-per-view is going to be Elimination Chamber. That's on the 17th. And then Fastlane is in between those two, and then there'll be after that, and then WrestleMania. Next video is going to be the Miss Bala review, so see you all then.
Are you tired of me constantly talking only about WWE and NXT? Want to see me expand my wrestling coverage? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. Also, remember, if you like the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.